Beaming live on a radio rope from a world near you, it's CKNWR radio station, servicing the city of Adobe skyscraper, the surrounding Adobega County, and if weather permits, even further than that. Join us this week, February 11th, 1978, for episode 267, a survey of the top 10 scariest urban legends of Adobega County, with your hosts, John Starboard, Deepak Halliday, Louier Mastodon, and Charlie Dust, with special guests Dean Couchman Ramos, Manuel Lore, and Whitney Sage.
So glad you could join us on the radio show. Today we have Dean Ramos, who's coming from the hallway. We found him. He was walking by, going who knows where, and we're We're so glad you could join us today on this evening's show. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Deepak. I'm glad you guys pulled me in here. I enjoy your show, but I have been awake for over 72 hours.
Well, it seems like you could go to sleep on the couch that you're always on.
I was dealing with a problem with the vending machines on level 14. There were some chips that had gotten stuck back in the vending wheel and was causing a lot of problems. It took me over 15 hours to get that problem fixed.
And so instead of sleeping, you decided to continue getting... Maybe you could have gone to a different vending machine?
Perhaps I should have done that, because I'm very tired. Something's going on the 3rd floor. No, 13th floor. I gotta figure that out. Seems like one of those vending machines is swallowing change without giving product. Or stealing. Penalty for a robot stealing in the Adobe skyscraper is immediate attention.
You know, since you're so tired, it's interesting. Maybe you can talk a little bit about Johnny. What? Why did you scream at me?
Did you not just see that?
I saw you jump at me like a madman.
I had a cup of coffee and I do not have it in my hands now. Thus, it must have been taken. Thus, the monkey made of leaves I just saw take it must be real.
Charlie, did you see a monkey made of leaves in there? Did you take the coffee?
I didn't take any coffee. I didn't see a monkey either.
Well, I didn't see one. What about you? Did you see one?
Nah. The proof is in the pudding, not the coffee.
Well, I'm telling you, I saw that monkey. I think I'm just so far on the edge of sleep that hallucinations are occurring.
So you think you did see a monkey then?
I did see a monkey, but I don't know if it's real.
Covered in leaves?
Made of leaves.
Made of leaves.
Donnie Inatree.
How would you rate the relative intelligence of this being?
From the way it behaved and the way it moved, for a monkey, I would say it would be super intelligent.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that. I don't know if you've read the newspaper today, but there's a list of the top 10 urban legends of the county. And Donnie Inatree, this leaf monkey, as you call him, happens to be number 10 on the list. They ordered it from the bottom to the top. Least scary to most scary. 10 points being least scary. It doesn't make much sense. You would think 10 scary points would be the most. Maybe you could think of it more as not scary points. So that you and I probably have a ratio.
You could think of it as depletion of scaredness.
You could think of it thusly, you could. So, why do you think you saw Donnie Inatree and we did not?
You're telling me Donnie Inatree has 10 friendship points.
He has 10 friendship points and nobody else saw him but you.
I will butt in here and admit that I did not just see Donnie in a tree now, but I have seen him before.
But you did see him, Dean. How long did you see him for?
It seemed like a split second that he climbed out of the ceiling area, came down. A primate, obviously a monkey, made of leaves, and the way that it moved, like I said, had super intelligence for a monkey. It waited until everyone else was not looking, and I happened to catch it out of the corner of my eye as I was slipping into REM sleep.
So do you think Donnie Inatree took your
He
coffee?
must have taken my coffee. My coffee's gone. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go. I've been awake for over 72 hours.
Now, before you go, let's go ahead and go down this list since we're up this list in the newspaper since we have it here in front of us. Number 9, coming in at number 9 is the semi-holographic boy. He's sort of a legend.
I haven't heard of the semi-holographic boy.
You may not have heard this story if you didn't go to the Zing School of Cosmetology.
My legends list.
Yes, well, it turns out that there is a true hologram inside the university in the teacher's lounge. And I don't quite recall who...
Oh, that was a hologram of Cindy Captain. Everybody knows
Cindy
that.
Captain in the captain's lounge. That's right. Captain's club. Excuse me.
Everybody would know that.
Yes. And so you had to stay away. There was an explicit rule never to the hologram. And as far as anyone knew, this had never been done. How could it be, for starters?
I don't know how I'd begin, really.
It boggles the mind. It truly does. However, upon summiting the mountain on St. Song Island, at the very top, there happened to be a boy who was part hologram, part boy, concluding that one of the someone had indeed had intercourse with the hologram, Cindy Captain. And considering that only professors allowed in the captain's lounge, had to have been one of the tenured staff.
Is it possible that the hologram itself?
I don't believe so, because it was part human.
Yes, but you're forgetting all the details here are, like you said, in the pudding. Some people refute if the semi-holographic boy is even real.
Well, I'm confused about that. He's half hologram, half boy. What is he a hologram of? What half of him is a hologram of?
If you take your left hand to your right hand, and have of your fingers and you push them together like that,
Right.
you may look at that and say, which is my left hand and which is my right hand.
I would say that, yeah, that's a cacophony of hand.
They're commingled, is the thing. So, thusly, the hologram part and the skin part have been commingled into one part, which is it's sort of a mixture of both.
So a boy made of man and hologram.
That's right. A hollow man has a boy.
On a mountain, looking over the sea, on a mountain top, is a child made of light and bones of purple, peach and green. You can see right through his hands and his feet. Not flesh or light, but somewhere in between. Semi-holographic boy, come sit next to me. Semi-holographic boy, come sit next to me. He continues at the top of the mountain, like a sage on the top of a telephone pole. Some go there to seek advice, some go there to hold the light through his hand. But either way you see, he's a mystery in disguise. He's a mystery on the top of the mountain. Come sit next to me. Semi-holographic boy. Come sit next to me. This ancient city by the sea is the university. And the professors at the university, their hands are clean. They wash them with the knowledge that they didn't create. They didn't create the semi-holographic boy. They didn't create the semi-holographic boy. Not these, not these, not these. No, not these hands. And his eyes are blue. You can see through them, and they can see through you.
I still think a hologram of any sort has to be defined as human in some way, and therefore it could be itself if you gave it enough time.
You're a dirty bastard, Louis. Look, I've really got to go. I'm very tired.
Well, you go ahead and go then.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Couchman.
bit of indiscretion by the teachers in their profession created some kind of creation on the mountain by the sea, on the mountain by the sea. It's a semi-holographic boy, a semi-holographic boy on the mountain by the sea. His eyes are blue, you can see through them and they can see through you. They'll see through you.
And rounding up number 8 on the list is the Rat King, who, as you all know, in fact, John Starboard, why don't you tell us about the Rat King?
Well, of all these legends, I would probably have to say the Rat King is the most believable. Because I have actually seen the Rat King.
Have you?
I've seen him.
When did you see him, John?
Well, I probably saw him 3 times before Deepak showed up at the monorail station in various parts of that Koi Pond ghost town outpost I was using. He would be in the pantry. He would clean out an entire row of cereal.
How many friendship points?
8.
I did not enjoy seeing that rat. It was huge.
Did he shriek?
He definitely spoke to me in a ratty language, sort of a taunting ratty chatter, if you can imagine that.
Too well.
At any rate, the terror factor or scare factor of the Rat King probably isn't very high. He's not a real threatening creature, just a kind of an annoying.
Yes, he breaks in and steals your dry goods from your pantry.
He completely wipes you out.
More of an annoyance, I suppose. Huh?
Late at night, when I'm walking through the H-E-B, just minding my business and try not to daydream. I look up and I see a special lady She revved her engine, then she started for me. That's how it always goes when you're working at the grocery store. Run for your life, run for your life, run for your life. She'll get you in the parking lot. You don't run for your life. And the boxes are in order, and the cans are in a pyramid, and the floors are all waxy, and the ceiling tiles are clean. The grocery store's in order, and it's time to go home. Pack up your duffel bag, wave your hand in the sky. Wave your hand in the sky. Both hands in the sky. Wave them in the sky. And the trash cans are all empty. And the boxes are in the recycling bin. And the old food's taken out. And the new food's put back in. Tomorrow's another day. Both hands in the air. Both hands in the air.
I hate to ask the question, but how easy would it be to kill the Rat King, and would it be morally apprehensible to do so? What is the intelligence of the Rat King?
I think a lot of that depends on its size. How big do you think it really is?
Have you ever seen a well-fed Maltesian cat? One of the full-grown white and gray ones?
Sure.
Imagine one that's rotund, but dingy, yellow rat.
And upright.
He was sort of reared up. The thing about the Rat King, in answer to your question, Lou, he always appears when you're least prepared to kill something. So when you're in your pajamas, looking for some cereal, by the time you get back with any sort of blunt instrument, he's gone. Now, there are probably those out there who might reach out and strangle the Rat King with their bare hands. I'll bet he doesn't bother those kind of people.
He's a smart Rat King.
I think he must be if he's survived this long.
If you're gonna be a rat, you better be ratty.
He's a cunning rat.
If you're gonna be a rat, you better be king.
Dear Mr. Given, something's wrong with your head. This river won't run on its own, and you're still in bed. So much for waiting to come home. She works late shift. It's a hard shift. And like I said, this river won't run on its own. Oh, no. You say to me, Mr. Givens, you know what they say, she's a slut. She gets left for remain a boy. Yes, west of here. You say I'm Mr. Givens, what the fuck did you say? Did you think I would just roll over and behave when you slander my girl? You say I'm
Mr. Givens, you look tired today. You already missed him. You got in too late. So much for waiting to come home. Boy, he's a bandit. He didn't plan it. And like I said, this river, it will run on its own. You say to me, Mr. Givens, you know what they say, he's a slut. He gets with every man aboard. Yes, west of here.
Oh, thank you for joining us again. We're back, and we're still going across our list of the scariest urban legends in Adobega County. And coming up in a strong 7th place is a creature named Gert. And here to talk about Gert, we have Manuel Lore, who's a sophomore at Grabo High School. He's involved in several extracurricular activities. I will let him tell you more about those and what sort of books he's been getting from the library about these urban legends and what he can tell us about them. Here he is, Manuel Lore. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you. My name's Manuel Lore. I go to school and I work part-time after with the janitors.
That's lovely.
And I'm in carpentry shop, and I just built a brand new bird shop.
Okay, Manuel. In addition to your obviously full schedule that you just listed there, we understand that you dabble in the art of understanding urban legends, such as the ones that we're discussing from the newspaper today. Is that true?
Well, yeah, when I was building my bird shop, I actually came across one of them, and that's kind of why I started learning so much more about them, and now I know.
Interesting. You said you came across one of the urban legends?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, I came across Gert, but
Came across Gert.
I didn't mean to. I mean,
Well, who would want to do that? If that's a real thing.
do you know Gert?
Well,
We know what...
they're just stories.
sure. That's the whole legend aspect.
Yeah, I ran into Gert when I was building my bird shop, and I was eating macaroni and cheese, and I went to the restroom and I let my shopmate take a bite, and I came back and he was gone, but I saw Gert jump out of the window, and he looked like a giraffe, but like his skin was inside out, and he was about 2 times as small as that.
He was 2 times as small as inside out skin? I misunderstood you.
As my bird shop.
Let me clarify something. Your bird shop is like a large shop that you walk into. It's not like a tiny little bird house.
Yeah, I'm in carpentry shop after class, and I have a partner in bird building it. It's big. It's about it can hold 2,000 birds.
Okay, so this Gert that you claim to have seen, you would describe as being about 5 feet tall, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay. And you claim to see it jump from a window. Now, this class you were in, this garage, workstation, or whatever, was it on the 1st or 2nd floor? Did this thing jump off of the 3rd floor of a building and scurry off, or what happened then? I mean, how did it open the window?
I was in my carpentry shop, and we were building a bird shop, and he jumped out of the 2nd story of the bird shop.
So there weren't windows in place currently.
No.
Nice, I see. Well, there you go, Gert.
Shadow, 'cause he's so hard to find. He'll put you in a headlock if he just finds the time. And when he locks eyes with a girl, he'll want to make her the world. But trust me, I've seen this before, man. That guy's out of his mind. Here we go. That's right.
watching TV in his van. Her parents all hate him, and he plays in a band. And the rest of time he's practicing with his band. His heart is a bird, and his bird is eating the worms. And he drives a busted 1992 Camaro down a lonesome highway after dark.
Sounds like you're substantiating the rumors that Gert is attracted to macaroni and cheese.
I mean, well, yes. I mean, he did eat my birdshop mate.
I got a question, just out of curiosity. Sorry to cut off your explanation there, but are you familiar and have you ever played the Sega game, Urban Legends of Adobega County, the game?
Oh yeah, I love that Sega game.
You would be in a unique position to talk about it, and especially the character of John Doom, who plays a prominent role in the game, as I have heard. I've never played it myself. I'm not a teenager, of course. I don't play those things. But yes, John Doom, you play as the character John Doom. You drive around in a corpse car. Is actually, one of the levels is Corpse Car 4. Could you elaborate on the types of things you do in the game as John Doom, and maybe a little bit about who John Doom is?
John Doom in the game, the Sega game, John Doom is this inside out flesh car man, and you drive him, and you can drive him inside of people's homes and steal their souls.
Yeah, so that sounds like the dramatized video game version of the historical character of John Doom. I mean, I'm not a
Yeah, and John Doom can steal people's souls on the sidewalk.
We'll look at the time that John Doom was alive, or we believe the person we know as John Doom was alive, and we find that he was a sharp-toothed maniac.
Very wealthy.
Well, that's not what the Sega game says.
Yeah, I believe that. The thing is,
No, in Sega, John Doom never dies. He just, if you run into too many people and steal too many souls and get tired and explode, you just come back.
that's interesting. That is quite fascinating. It does tie in well with the legend of the return of John Doom, I guess. And that's what's ranked number 6 on the list here. John Doom returns as sort of a foreboding image of impending doom, as it were. And people say they see his hearse, or his corpse car, as he called it, parked out in front of their house. And bad things seem to happen to them in the near future. Yeah, you can take that and turn it into a video game, and it sounds pretty much like what Manuel was just describing, I guess.
It sounds very fun. I'd like to play it. Something I would not like to play is a video game about Carn bar rules. A video game that had Carn bar rules.
Well, yeah. Carn bar rules are actually number 5 on the list here.
Yeah, as you know, and as you know, and as you know. Whenever Carns go to bars, if the bartender happens to run out of alcohol, it's very bad for the bartender because his blood will be suckled by the Carns, dry blood, and thus no longer living. So it's my personal belief, having been to many bars, that this was probably just an old wives' tale made up by the tenants of the bar in order to encourage the bartender to keep a fully stocked livery.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the demonization of just Karn people.
It's not mutually exclusive with what I just said. Could both be true.
That's true. I mean, I do think that part of the mystique of these bloodthirsty traveling people is that they are
Carns.
the Karn, yeah, is that they are somehow wicked and evil. But they just have very strange and violent traditions, I guess you could.
I suppose that if they did actually suck the blood out of people, the word evil might fit. Although, again, as yet unproved, all these urban legends, more legend than urban.
They do sound quite scary.
Yes, I've never met a dead bartender, so be that what it is.
Read your own mind. People won't know what you're thinking. You gotta read your own mind. People won't know what you're thinking. 50% of the time, people won't know what you're thinking. 50% of your mind doesn't know what it is thinking. Do you believe in multiple entities? Are you a multiple dimensional being? The double deca-dimensional being? Let us roll down the road to salvation, yes. The road to salvation. Let us roll down the road to salvation, yes. The road to salvation. Let us roll down the road to salvation, yes. The road to salvation. Let us roll, let us roll. The road to salvation. Even freaks need salvation too. The road to salvation. You've got to read your own mind, or people won't know what you're thinking. You must read your own mind, or people won't know what you're thinking. Freak mind, sometimes knows what you're thinking. 50% of the time, he knows exactly what you are thinking. I am freak mind.
You are thinking I am freak-minded. I was right. 50% of the time, but not a flip of the die. A trick of the mind. Take questions after my performance today. Thank you for attending my performance today. I am Frickmind. You there? You there? You're thinking I call you? Yes. I am Frickmind, and I know on the chance of a die, but not an ordinary die, what you are thinking every time. 50% of my time is right on your time tonight. Freak mind.
Weekdays at 2.
Thanks for coming back and visiting us after those wonderful songs.
All right, Deepak. It is interesting that we have 3 more creatures on the list, or 3 more instances of terror on the list, and we just happen to have a very important and very revered man here today, Mr. Whitney Sage, who is, as his name would imply, a sage of the town. He's been around for a long time, and he's meticulously taken notes on things he's
Thank you, you're too kind. Thank you. I'm so pleased to be here.
Well, getting back to our list, only 4 friendship points, and we're talking about the Yothips.
So the Yothips, mountain-dwelling creatures, they're estimated to be 14 to 15 of them. And in all my scholarship, I believe I have come across one. The traces of one, although perhaps the Yothip itself may not exist, but of course, footprints and hair prints and claw prints and things of that nature. And because of that, I believe that there is such a thing as a Yothip. Violent creatures, terribly violent, very few of them. Very large and very few.
So these adjectives are accurate from what I remember.
Do you have a memory of the sound of that one makes, and can you replicate that sound?
Well, I'd like to say that I did. I wish that I did. I wish I had that much evidence, but no. I would imagine I could tell you what I would imagine a Yothip would sound like.
Well, yes, tell me that.
Okay, so I imagined, based on the footprint size and so on, sort of like a growly, wintry, husky sound, like more like deeper though, of course. My voice doesn't get that deep, but you get that picture.
So you got all of that from the footprints of the beast?
Oh, footprints don't lie, they say so much.
Yeah, I did not realize you could establish the sound of a creature's call.
Show me any footprint, I'll tell you what that sounds like.
Imagine that.
If you show me the footprint of your wife, I'll tell you exactly what tone of voice she has. Barefoot, of course. She wouldn't do me any good.
That is interesting. So, for the people that aren't quite initiated to this specific legend, I guess, how would you describe a Yothip just to somebody that's never even heard of what it is?
That's a good question. So, I've done many conceptual drawings of these creatures, and they vary in size and weight and coloration and features. But the one I am most convinced of is that it's sort of tall. It is, imagine if you take a greyhound and stretch it out and put it on 2 legs, upright, and make it have long, shaggy hair, gray.
Torture?
No, I would never in a million years torture a Yothip. Such rare creatures, not at all. I don't know why you said that. But it would have gray, mottled hair all over it, foul stench, along like a droopy gray nose, sort of sad eyes, sort of holes for ears, not like our ears that stick out, just holes.
If I could stop you right there.
You may stop me, sure.
I was wondering if you could tell us, in as many words as you please, why is this brand of rare creature on this list of all the scary and horrible of
Friendship points, that's what he wants to know.
points? He's only got 4, so Why is it so low?
It's a low ranking, low score.
I don't recall. I'm getting quite old.
These just don't seem like that scary.
I feel like there is something that they do. Let me get out my my journal. But you may have to read it because I don't have my reading glasses.
Well, it's like you described, just not as sympathetic. It's a deer thing that's shaggy and has the head of a greyhound. I guess if there's any kind of a greyhound that's angry and it's gonna bite you, if it had the body of a deer, that would be even more terrifying, I suppose.
Sure, it's not a creature I'd like to see.
I don't think I'd like to see one. If I, got cornered, it sounds like you might need self-defense against such a creature.
Does it bite you?
Does it have the speed of a deer?
Sure it does.
That would make it a formidable foe indeed. The speed.
I'm certain that it would bite you.
Now, since we're moving on here, number 3 on this list. So many of you, I'm sure every one of you actually, ever since you've been born, every autumn months, around October, you may have found your papa or your mama putting a painting of rainbow above your door. And the painting of rainbow, which you may not know, you may think of it as a legend. I myself happen to believe in it. Is to keep away the Rainbow Man. The Rainbow Man. And you may have heard stories as a child of the Rainbow Man perhaps coming into your home if you don't have the rainbow above your door, and that is absolutely correct. I have never perchance to put a rainbow above my door because the Rainbow Man is the 3rd most terrifying urban legend that there is. He's a Rainbow Man, and it's unclear what he would do if he came into your home, but it is true that some have spotted him on the night he comes by, but only from the back. You hear the squeaking of his cart, and you look out your blinds, and he's walking away from you, and he's glowing rainbow colors.
I've certainly never seen the Rainbow Man, but I've always put the rainbow over my door. I've got a can of rainbow paint, with a special rainbow brush. We use it once a year, and it takes care of the job pretty quick. It's just one dip and one stripe, and you got a rainbow. But I've never seen him from the back. Has anybody seen him from the back?
I've never actually heard that people had seen the Rainbow Man. I thought it was just sort of a story. Has anyone ever taken a photograph?
People have tried. People have tried.
So the photographs don't...
It's very dark, and the flash doesn't go that far. Just a matter of his physical not having a bright enough light.
Only seen him in the distance.
It's in the distance. It's far away. It's nighttime.
So, the Rainbow Man, he has a very mellow light.
He emits a mellow light, yes.
That protrudes from his body in rainbow colors.
That's right.
Yeah, I've never seen him.
You've got it.
If I could just ask one more question. What do you think, just your personal opinion, what do you think happens if by chance someone is confronted by the Rainbow Man for being lazy about putting a rainbow over their door?
Well, this is just speculation, yeah? Pure speculation, but I presume the Rainbow Man would come into your home because there's not a rainbow. Now that I think about it, it's sort of strange that a rainbow would keep him away. If he is made of rainbows, it seems like that would be an invitation to come inside. But in any case, let's just say that he goes into places that do not have rainbows. My thinking is that he probably would go to your bed and sleep in it. He'd have a rest in your bed. It's nighttime. He's probably very tired from walking. He might try to sell you some of his wares from the cart that he pushes around. Some nuts and bolts, some ice cream pops, what have you. I don't know what he carries in there. And he would almost certainly take the life of your first and second born children.
Oh, so there's the kid.
Yes, perhaps I guess it's not so bad. You just have someone sleep in your bed. It's like having a house guest. But as soon as the house guest takes the life of 2 of your children, it's time to go.
In my
here we got our sunsets tied up, always within reach. You got a sunset on a leash. You got a lease on life. Alamogordo. That's right.
Alamogordo. Ooh, oh. Alamogordo. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Alamogordo. Ooh, oh. In my dream.
Speaking of going, number 2 on the list. I don't know much about this man particularly, but I read an article in the newspaper about him the other day, known mainly as Goof, the Goof.
Oh, the Goof is terrifying.
Maybe one of you should tell me more about the
No,
Goof.
this is one of the legends that most people find extremely terrifying and extremely disturbing. So if you have young people in the room, they might want to leave right now. Number 2 on the friendship points list is the Goof. And Charlie, I think, probably could do a very good job of just giving you a brief idea without going into too much detail, I suppose.
Well, the Goof is especially terrifying. He believes that he is 100% innocent. He is
Innocent of what?
innocent of the evil that he does do. He is not aware that the actions result in very bad things for people, such as loss of life. The Goof will exclaim, "I don't think much," and he will mistake items of your body as food, take a bite of your arm thinking it's a good crunchy cucumber.
Is this a human man, or I'm confused?
A human man, yes, although not a very bright one.
One would presume from his actions.
So how does this character go unpunished? Why is this guy still walking around?
Well, I think mostly people want to stay out of his line of sight, because once he looks at you and he locks in on you, you know that it is possible he could mistake you for food. I thought he was well known for mistaking the heads of everybody as melons. Sure, I'm sure that's true. That's not surprising at all. I wish I knew why he was so confused and deranged, but the fact is that I am not brave enough to go near him. Do you wonder that his neuroses tends towards vegetables? Well, I don't know. It's possible that at a very young age he had the textures confused between meats and vegetables, and maybe he believes that he is not eating.
And this is a grown man who has an address and a driver's license?
Oh, I suppose most people would ask, why don't we just look him up and send the Minotaur there to get him?
It's just confusing me, because here he is on the top 10 urban legends list, and it sounds to me like he's just a deranged psychopath. If he has an address, let's just go confront him and deal with his issues.
Trying to say that no one will go seek the Goof out.
I think what Charlie was alluding to is the fact that you can't disprove something that you can't see. There probably isn't such a person, but because no one has...
It does you no good to knock on the Goof's door and get your head switched off.
That is the prevailing theory.
That's street wisdom right there. Street wisdom.
We do have some audio of what people think his voice sounds like.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, let's play it here.
Terrifying.
I'd never like to confront him.
We stayed up late and waited for the crowd to dwindle down. And that's when we mixed our felony. I grabbed the saw and jumped the fence with glee. And then we cut that tree. Remember the time we stole the great inflatable guy that stood upon the evil Burger King. His defeat was our victory, and I guess that we are so much better for it now. We're better for it now. We're running far away from wherever you are. We're running far away from wherever you are. We're running far away from wherever you are. We're running far away from the law. Remember the time we spread the toys out on the furniture?
I remember that time.
I wanted you lost.
Hey, that was the time.
Our feet were bleeding on the carpet is stained now forever just because. Far away from wherever you are. We're running far away from wherever you are. We're running far away from wherever you are. We're running far away from the law. Follow the law. Follow that. You can tell.
Thank you, everybody. Beware of a goof.
Something else who I think we've probably all confronted one way or another, whether we knew it or not, is the number one, the moment you've been waiting for, the scariest of the urban legends with only one friend point. Because, of course, you probably are not surprised to hear this because of how prevalent he is, but an invisible gray Max and his invisible gray pumpjack. Many of you may, when you're sleeping, have woken up in the middle of the night and discovered that there's something odd about the room, odd about the feeling of the room and the vibrations in the room, and have heard perhaps a squeaking or a very irregular sound, much like thinking perhaps it was a rocking chair, or maybe some signage outside rustling in the wind, or perhaps a branch rubbing up against your window screen. Well, those are all very sane guesses, but all of them are incorrect. It's most likely the invisible gray Max and his invisible gray pumpjack staring at you and sucking out your life force with his pumpjack once you sleep.
I'm pretty sure most people have heard of this in some form or another. When somebody that gets really sick or dies in their sleep, a lot of people say, yeah, we heard squeaking come from the next room, and Max was there, his little gray outline or whatever they say they see. People who claim to have gotten through the night with one of those interactions are quite lucky if what they say is true.
If they exist.
If they do exist, that's true.
What do you suppose Grey Max does with the life force that he takes? It seems as if he's collecting it. What does the lore say?
I've heard Grey Max is from another dimension. He's just sending fuel back to the other dimension.
Fuel.
I think I got that out of a radio science magazine.
You know, probably the most perfect person we could ask about the other dimension and about the invisible Grey Max is our number 0, who has 0 friend points, the most urban legend of them all, Frick Richards.
Of course, of course.
Because anyone who has seen him in a certain form, and if he is a shapeshifter, so to speak, then who would know if he had taken up any previous forms before? But in any case, he is the man I would ask about Invisible Grey Max and what he uses his life force for.
I once thought that I was Frick Richards.
You may have been.
Well, Invisible Grey Max is definitely a frightening character. If anybody can substantiate the existence of such a pan-dimensional being or spiritual entity or phenomena, whatever you want to call it, that would be quite fascinating. But until that time, we're going to have to just go on what we hear on the radio, what we hear from bookstores, chat rooms, and subway lines, and so forth. Okay, so that wraps up another episode of this evening's show. Glad you could join us tonight. Hope we answered some of your lingering questions about what happens on top 10 lists involving urban legends in Adobega County. I'd like to say good night. John Starboard here.
Bless you all. This is Deepak.
Thanks, just Charlie Dust. This is Louis saying, keep your gongs up.
Good night.